Welcome to BRW Capital Analytics YouTube channel where we talk TA and markets. Today I want to talk about the TX price action. It's been about a week and I just want to talk about what I think has been forming down here in this bottom of the trend, which I think is a good reversal relative to the entire market. So let's zoom in here for a second. So this is about 120-ish days since March 6th. And obviously, you know, we look at the price action, it looks really bad. It has moments where it tries to teeter and then it does fall. And then we have something that I think is very interesting right over here. So this is a day chart. But when you zoom in here into this down area, this low part of the structure, let's go into the 12-hour. And the reason why I have it on the 12 hours, I think it's a little bit more cleaner to assess this pattern. So the pattern that I think we're in right now is for TX is the Wyckoff accumulation schematic number 2, not number 1. There's a difference, and I want to get into that. So let's just go turn here. You'll see on the website there's a accumulation schematic number 1, and then there's a number 2. The difference between number 1 and 2 generally has to do more with the bottoms here, especially the spring phase here. So you're going to have things like preliminary support, selling climax, automatic rally, secondary test, another one. Then you'll have an up thrust, spring test, your last point of support, sign of strength, backup, which is another last point of support, as it builds up into these phases, right? To put it simply right there. Then they all have, you know, definitions of what is happening at each portion of that move here. So as we go into Wyckoff accumulation schematic number 2, you'll see that that spring phase over here, it's not there. All right, so the idea is for this type of crypto, institutionally focused with a lot of, there is an institutional demand is what I'm going to say here. And the reason why I know that is because you just look at the volume. Our volume is very low. It's about $100,000 to $200,000 per day. So the idea is when you look at a low market cap coin, you have organic buying, not really institutional buying at this point. The institutional will come. But just for now, we're just looking at the schematic 2, which is very typical and common for small altcoins. So this is good. This is a good thing. Now I got to keep in mind, there are some rules we're going to have to follow if we want this accumulation schematic to play out, because it is a very powerful reversal sign and we need to hope that this plays out. I'll give you a bearish case here in a sec. But as we look, the most important thing we need to look at here is these selling climax right over here, because this really creates the base right there. This creates the bottom. This is where you have high volume selling, and then your operators end up swiftly buying in, creating this demand structure here. So as it moves to the right over here, you'll see that the last point of support doesn't break this area. All right, so let's go to the chart here. So I took the liberty of putting in this support liquidity zone, and this is where the selling climax had bottomed. And this is very important. So obviously I pointed out all these structures here, I labeled them. And on the 12-hour chart, I like it because it's a little bit more cleaner and a little bit more defined than on the 1 day. And so what we're looking for is for us to hold this support liquidity zone. It's important. Because I said the selling climax happened here. We had a test. We had a secondary test in phase B. This is normal. We had a double bottom. If this is your bottom and your double bottom, your last point of support, another last point of support, which is going to be somewhere here. It could be another one there. I don't know. We're not going to be exact. We're just going to figure this out just structurally. Then this is a really good area because it had dipped under as Bitcoin and the entire market had fallen today. We held very well over the weekend, which is another good thing because you know how weekend is. Weekends are we always lose liquidity because very thin. Banks are not open, of course, but it looks like the market makers did a really good job. So we're holding it. Yes, we're coming back down to test it. It's testing the resolve, and we're still in this support liquidity zone, and we need to hold it. We do not want to close any kind of candle structures or below, because if we do, we're going to start creating a lower trend. It will be big mess for sure. So anyways, let's turn to Bitcoin for a second, and let me just show you here what I see going on right now. So I'm going to turn on a moving average. And obviously, if you guys haven't seen this before, this is Bitcoin with its entire Elliott wave structure starting from 2022. So we talked about this before. It was wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, and a C. And we have a trend line, which is really nice because you have a point, a breakout, and then a backtest support. Also, we've never had a close, a weekly close. It was just a little fake out right there. We've never had a close of a weekly candle under the 200-week moving average. Awesome. So everything is still good. Everything is still strong relative to the entire market, which supports TX moving up. Right, so we're going to use all kinds of data to support TX here because I can't just look at TX. If I looked at XRP's chart right now, I would tell you I have no idea how that looks. It looks okay, but anything can happen with that. So we have to just use the confluence of the entire market. So if we go to Ethereum, the one thing I've noticed here is as Ethereum crashed today, fallen I should say, TX took a dip with it, but it came down to this 50 moving average. So it's just breakout and then a little test. That's good. Something is telling me that we're going to be breaking out of this. You can see this fib line, this green box. Once we start pushing up out of it, then we should start seeing momentum. Now, how do I know? There's something very interesting with the Ethereum to Bitcoin dominance pairing. So this is, let me just zoom out here. And you can see this is the entire Ethereum dominance relative to Bitcoin. Ethereum has been terrible since 2022, dropping down to 2025. And it even fooled me because I thought, because I knew that there was a bottom and a double bottom, that we would have started our run here. That didn't happen, obviously. So why? There's a lot of factors, economic factors that did play a huge role into this. But if we do technical structures here and we just measure this bottom move to the top, you could see that, if you guys know, I'm very familiar and love the 702, which is a golden area of reversal. It's a very good area to bottom out for your structures, especially on the macros, and then buy in. This is a great area if you're looking for a reversal in strength. So we had taken the structure, measured it, hit the 702. You could count 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. There's 5 waves in there. 2 and 4 touch perfectly. They don't cross. And as we zoom in here on the 2-day, because I think it's a little bit more accurate than the 1-day, you'll see we have the trend line. And we're breaking out so far out of this 50 moving average. Now we're going to need a few candles and a weekly in Bitcoin and everything to move up to make sure that this is all a real rally and not a fake out, because it's looking like right now we're about to have a move. So Ethereum to Bitcoin, this has been since August of 2025, we've been in this downtrend and we're starting to break out. So put that into perspective. If you're a 4-year cycle guy, or if you're positioning yourselves away, let's say away from crypto, like the small altcoins, I don't know. I think it's foolish. Not financial advice. But again, the setup looks good relative to the whole market. So let's just see how it plays out. And then obviously I'm going to point out this one last thing here. Yes, we're in this downtrend. We need to break this 50 moving average here for TX. This will be explosive because you have a break of the downtrend, break of the 50 moving average, and most important is the RSI. Trending up, bouncing off this line here. All we need to do is cross and confirm over this 50 line, this where the red arrows are, and boom, it will be fireworks for sure. It will be the biggest move we've seen in TX ever, for sure. That I can count on for sure. Be a big move. I don't know how big, but it will be big because this is a lot of compression that's going on. We also have fake outs here on the MACD, so we're watching that. Nothing out of the ordinary right now. Everything's making perfect sense. So am I worried? No. Should you be worried? No, but I'll give you a bearish case just in case we do fall back, because we'll have an extended drop and most likely we will break these lows. We will come down significantly lower. So that's the other thing is we need to watch out for. So anyways, I hope that helped. If you guys enjoyed that, obviously like, subscribe, stake to the BRW Capital validator. And of course, the music, you know, I'd like to support BiBBY Beats. He's the guy who provides the music for my channel, and I just want to show him some support. So if you guys ever get a chance, link down below. All right, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, guys.